You can start my Aradhimati whenever you're ready. We cannot hear you, Mati. Aradhimati, if you're still speaking, I cannot hear you. You should join back.
Me now?
I can hear you, Mati, now. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are starting Madhya Lila chapter 4, Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service, starting at text 55. 55, text 55. All the Brahmana priests of the village gathered together with 9 water pots, and water from Govinda Kund lake was brought there and filtered. Text 56. When the deity was being installed, 900 pots of water were brought from Govinda Kund. There were musical sounds of bugles and drums and the singing of women. Text 57. During the festival at the installation ceremony, some people sang and some danced. All the milk, yogurt, and clarified butter in the village were brought to the festival. Text 58. Various foods and sweetmeats, as well as other kinds of presentations, were brought there. I am unable to describe all these. Text 59. The villagers brought a large quantity of tulsi leaves, flowers, and various kinds of garments. Then Sri Madhavendra Puri personally began the Abhishek, bathing ceremony. Text 60. After all inauspicious things were driven away by the chanting of the mantra, the deity's bathing ceremony started. First, the deity was massaged with a large quantity of oil, so that his body became very glossy. Text 61. After the first bathing, further bathings were conducted with Panchagavya and then with Panchamrita. Then the Mahasnana was performed with ghee and water, which had been brought in 100 pots. Text 62. After the Mahasnana was finished, the deity was again massaged with scented oil and his body made glossy. Then the last bathing ceremony was performed with scented water kept within a conch shell. Text 63. After the body of the deity was cleansed, he was dressed very nicely with new garments. Then sandalwood pulp, tulsi garlands, and other fragrant flower garlands were placed upon the body of the deity. Text 64. After the bathing ceremony was finished, incense and lamps were burned, and all kinds of food offered before the deity. These foods included yogurt, milk, and as many sweetmeats as were received. Text 65. The deity was first offered many varieties of food, then scented drinking water in new pots, and then water for washing the mouth. Finally, pan mixed with a variety of spices was offered. Text 66. After the last offering of tambula and pan, Bhoga Aratrika was performed. Finally, everyone offered various prayers and then obeisances, falling flat before the deity in full surrender. Text 67. As soon as the people of the village had understood that the deity was going to be installed, they had brought their entire stocks of rice, dal, and wheat flour. They brought such large quantities that the entire surface of the top of the hill was filled. Text 68. When the villagers brought their stock of rice, dal, and flour, the potters of the village brought all kinds of cooking pots, and in the morning the cooking began. Text 69. 10 brahmanas cooked the food grains, and 5 brahmanas cooked both dry and liquid vegetables. Text 70. The vegetable preparations were made from various kinds of spinach, roots, and fruits collected from the forest, and someone made bara and badi by mashing dal. In this way, the brahmanas prepared all kinds of food. Text 71. 5 to 7 men prepared a huge quantity of chapatis, which were completely covered with ghee, clarified butter, as well as were all the vegetables, rice, and dal. Text 72. All the cooked rice was stacked on palasa leaves, which were on new cloths spread over the ground. Text 73. Around the stack of cooked rice were stacks of chapatis, and all the vegetables and liquid vegetable preparations were placed in different pots and put around them. Text 74. Pots of yogurt, milk, buttermilk, and shikarini, sweet rice, cream, and solid cream were placed alongside the vegetables. Text 75. In this way, the Annakuta ceremony was performed, and Madhavendra Puri Goswami personally offered everything to Gopala. Text 76. Many water pots were filled with scented water for drinking, and Lord Sri Gopala, who had been hungry for many days, ate everything offered to him. Text 77. Although Sri Gopala ate everything offered, still by the touch of his transcendental hand, everything remained as before. Text 78. How Gopala ate everything while the food remained the same was transcendentally perceived by Madhavendra Puri Goswami. Nothing remains a secret to the devotees of the Lord. Text 79. The wonderful festival and installation of Sri Gopalji was arranged in one day. Certainly all this was accomplished by the potency of Gopala. No one but a devotee can understand this. Text 80. Madhavendra Puri offered water to Gopala for washing his mouth, and he gave him betel nuts to chew. Then while Arati was performed, all the people chanted, Jaya, Jaya, all glories to Gopala. Text 81. Arranging for the Lord's rest, Sri Madhavendra Puri brought a new cot, and over this he spread a new bedspread and thus made the bed ready. Text 82. A temporary temple was constructed by covering the bed all around with a straw mattress. Thus there was a bed and a straw mattress to cover it. Text 83. After the Lord was laid down to rest on the bed, Madhavendra Puri gathered all brahmanas who had prepared the prasadam and said to them, Now feed everyone sumptuously, from the children on up to the aged. Text 84. All the people gathered there sat down to honor the prasadam, and by they took food. All the brahmanas and their wives were fed first. Text 85. Those who took prasadam included not only the people of Govardhana village, but also those who came from other villages. They also saw the deity of Gopala and were offered prasadam to eat. Text 86. Seeing the influence of Madhavendra Puri, all the people gathered there were struck with wonder. They saw that Annakuta ceremony, which had been performed before during the time of Krishna, was now taking place again by the mercy of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Text 87. All the brahmanas present on that occasion were initiated by Madhavendra Puri into the Vaishnava cult, and Madhavendra Puri engaged them in different types of service. Text 88. After taking rest, the deity must be awakened at the end of the day, and immediately some food and some water must be offered to him. Text 89. When it was advertised throughout the country that Lord Gopala had appeared atop Govardhana Hill, all the people from neighboring villages came to see the deity. Text 90. One village after another was pleased to beg Madhavendra Puri to allot them one day to perform the Annakuta ceremony. Thus, day after day, the Annakuta ceremony was performed for some time. Prabhuji, should I continue?
You can pause,
Or should I
Madhya.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're all able to hear me okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Because I had to take out my headset. That's why I was checking, making sure. Okay, good, perfect. Let's see. Then let me turn on my video. So, okay. So let's go back 55, 55 was.
Prabhu, you have Gordon behind you.
Oh, yeah. In the background, yes. Thank you. I wish I'm there. Not today. So text 55. So basically, the context of the section was that Madhavendra Puri, such a pure devotee of the Lord, who is the spiritual master of Ishwarapuri, who Ishwarapuri is the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. So that Madhavendra Puri, actually, the deity came in his dream. Gopal deity came in his dream and told him that I'm here, please take me out. And like that, he guided him specifically. And then next day morning, he took villages and he took out the deity. In the last session, we discussed all the villages brought the deity out. It was a very big deity, it seems. And then they started doing they established a throne kind of thing and a big stone like that we heard in the last session. And then now we are hearing how the Abhishek ceremony was being done and the Annakuta ceremony was being done, offering of food and Abhisheka, basically. Those two aspects today we're covering. So those are essentially those details is what we heard. So we'll briefly cover those things and there are a few purports. So wherever there are purports, I'll pause so that we can discuss the points Prabhupada is saying in the purports. So let's go through. So basically, initially, what is saying, what here being described, that Brahmana priests came with 9 water parts. The water came from Govindakund lake, it seems, and the water is filtered. That means they made ensure it's a pure water that is used for deity worship. And uh, then to actually do the Abhisheka, 900 pots of water were brought from Govindakund. It seems there's a lot of water, 900 pots of water. And then while Abhisheka was being done, music was being played. What music? Bugles and drums. Those music was being played, and women were also singing. Now, we also see, and some people were singing, some people were dancing, and then different kinds of offerings were made. So we'll get the list one by one now. So basically, milk, yogurt, and clarified butter. You notice not some of it. All the milk, yogurt, and clarified butter in the village were brought to the festival. That means they didn't keep, okay, this is for me, this is for Krishna, like that. They brought everything they had with the love for Krishna. Now, 58 verse. So they brought various foods and sweetmeats, as well as other kinds of presentations also. So they brought the gifts for the deity. And now 59 describes, there's a purport for this verse. So villages also brought a large quantity of tulsi leaves, because that's a nice offering we can make to Krishna or any Vishnu Tattva deities also, deity forms. And then flowers also they brought, and various kinds of garments also they got for deities. And Madhavendra Puri personally began the Abhisheka. That's how it's described. Now, next set of verses describe the details of Abhisheka. So 15th verse purport, Prabhupada is describing that deity is bathed with the materials that we can see and the mantras. Those are 2 points Prabhupada is making in broadly. What are the materials? In water mixed with yogurt and milk. That's how deity should be bathed, he's saying, accompanied by the sounds of conch shells, bells, and other instruments, and the chanting of mantras, Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha, as well as chanting of Brahma Samhita verses, beginning with Chintamani, Prakara Kalpa Vriksha, Laksha Vriteshu, Surabhi, Ravipalayantam. Basically, the main point there is deity worship is always done with mantras more than the physical elements. Physical elements are important, but mantras are especially important in deity worship. Even Jiva Goswami talks about this. Holy name and mantras is the main way to worship the deities like that. And then, yeah, that is about 59th verse. 60th verse, yeah, there's no purport for this. Yeah, here is being described as, after all inauspicious things were driven away by the chanting of mantras. So by chanting of the mantras, actually the place becomes purified. Even the conch shell we hear about, right? When the pujari is blowing the conch shell, actually inauspicious things are being driven away. Similarly, the chanting of the mantras also, which we hear. One of the reasons why during the initiation ceremonies many times devotees chant Brahma Samhita prayers, for example. These are purifying actually. That is why those mantras are chanted. And then uh, after that, the deity's bathing ceremony started. That Abhishek started, it seems. Then here all details are given, like deity was massaged with large quantity of oil first, so that his body became very glossy, it seems. So that is the important thing. Meaning, why I'm saying important thing is this point is repeated another time with towards the end of the ceremony again with scented oils. And deity is massaged with oil again. And there also is mentioned that deity's body becomes very glossy, shiny like that. So, oh, I may send you something. Maybe I don't know if all of you have seen it, but there's a nice video, short video. I don't know when Amarendra Prabhu gave a class, but he's describing. I will send it to you, this group also. Somebody sent me today. Basically, Amarendra Prabhu is describing right now, in this age, right now, today, there's a devotee living, Mataji is living, and then she has a Gaurnita deities. She takes care of the deity for 12 hours a day, it seems like that. So then she takes care of so much that she doesn't go out to any programs or anywhere. She just stays at home to serve them, like that. And they reciprocate so much. Amrendra Prabhu is describing that deity's height grows regularly, 1 inch every year or something like that. He was describing, and then deities regularly accept her offerings. Like for example, one time she is giving an incident. Is describing an incident. Some couple are getting married, and then they came and requested her to come, but she said, I cannot come because I have to take care of deities. Then they said, okay, bring your deities also, Gaurnita also. Then she said, they're sannyasi, they don't come for weddings like that, she said. Then finally they said, okay, please ask their blessings. Then she said, I will ask their blessings. Then she asked them to bless them on the wedding day. It seems she dressed very opulently, Gaurnita, as if like they're going to wedding like that, deities. And then finally, after 2 days, they called the marriage couple called, saying that the Gaurita came in the dream for both of them separately, and with the same dress that she dressed them that way, that day. And then they blessed him, it seems, saying that my devotee wanted to bless you like that. So this is the only reason I'm saying is DT, as was describing, that DT actually that's coming up in another purport also, same thing. That when we have the purified senses, then we can perceive the deity as real Krishna only like that. And Krishna also reciprocates with us like that. If we see Krishna as a deity, he will reciprocate us as a deity. If we see deity as just a stone, then he will reciprocate like that only, without any reciprocation like that. So that's what he was describing. It's a nice thing, I thought, because sometimes we hear some time ago, 500 years ago, something happened. We hear, we may not get the faith, but when you hear somebody right now, they're living and they're experiencing these things, and somebody is devotee is a friend of them. It seems they know really that person also. Not only Amarendra Prabhu, the other persons also can assert to that, like that. So then basically, yeah. So I was just appreciating the deity worship and that Mataji's mood and worshiping deities like that. So now see here, what are the different things? First, they bathed with the massage with the oil, number one. Next, then they gave bath with Panchagavya and Panchamrita. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, what do these two terms mean? Basically, Panchagavya means the products coming from milk, cow, which is milk, yogurt, ghee. That is common for these both of these things. Panchagavya and Panchamrita, milk, yogurt, and ghee are common to both of them. Then Panchagavya includes cow urine and cow dung also, Prabhupada is describing. Whereas Panchamrita includes the same three common elements, milk, yogurt, and ghee, the three elements. And the two other elements in the Panchamrita is honey and sugar, it seems, to make it sweet. So essentially the main products are from cow. Main milk products are from cow. That's why cow is so important. Prabhupada is stressing the purport again. And then after that, after bathing with Panchagavya and Panchamrita, then they gave Mahasnana with ghee and water, it seems. and which he brought in 100 pots again, since these ones. So then, after the Mahasana was finished, massage the deity again with scented oil, and his body made glossy. This is what I was talking about. Glossy. What was the term used earlier? Let me see if I can quickly find it. Deity was installed. Okay, 900 pots, ceremony, some people sang. Abhisheka, very glossy. There also glossy was used. Okay. So then after that, then they bathed again with scented water at the end again. After the Abhishek was over, then they dressed the deities with new garments, and they also offered sandalwood pulp, tulsi garlands, and other fragrant flower garlands. Of course, we also know from nectar devotion that when we offer flowers to Krishna, we should offer fragrant flowers. And in Kali Yuga, we don't get fragrant flowers sometimes, so we put perfume, natural perfume on top of it and offer the flowers like that. That's an injection from nectar devotion, we know. So they give like that. Oh, 62 verse purport is talking about, they also offer different kinds of materials, seems like vermilion powder, barley powder, wheat powder, a mixture of these things for the body of the deity, it seems, with a cow's tail. Cow's tail is usually called twitch, like that. So that produces nice finish on the deities, it seems. Then the oils that smeared on the body of the deity also should be scented, it seems. So that's what is described in 62 and 63. Let me see if there's any purport here. 63 doesn't have purport. Okay, good. 64. So after the bathing ceremony was finished, the incense and lamps were burned. That means basically, usually arti is offered. Generally, when we do abhishek for deities, we offer arti like that. That's what is being described. And then bhoga is also offered. All kinds of food offered before the deity. These foods include yogurt, milk, and many sweetmeats as were received like that. Water was received like that. So many kinds of varieties of food was offered. Scented drinking water in new pots is offered. This also is repeated a couple of times. The drinking water offered to the Lord is also scented, it seems. But I have not seen devotees offering scented water at home, at least. I don't know how is it done in temples. So then water for washing the mouth is offered. And then finally, pan mixed with various spices are also offered, it seems. The proper feast, basically. And then after offering tambul and puna, pan, again Bhoga Arati was performed. Arati ceremony. Finally, everyone offered various prayers and then obeisances, falling flat before the deity in full surrender. So that's the other thing. And then people of the village, and as soon as people of the village understood the deity was going to be installed, they brought lots of food, it seems, rice, dal, wheat flour, like that. They bought, these are all groceries basically, because they're going to describe cooking later on next set of verses. So then all the groceries they got cover the entire surface of the top of the hill, it seems. What is the top of the hill? Govardhan hill is being described. So now rice, dal, and flour were brought, and then see potters. So potters means those who make pots in the village, right? They brought all the cooking for new fresh cooking pots for the deity. And in the morning they began the cooking. So how many people were cooking? 10 brahmanas were cooking food grains, 5 brahmanas were cooking both dry and liquid vegetables, like that. Let me see if there's any purport here. No purports till a few more verses, until 77. Okay. Then vegetable preparations were made with different kinds of spinach, roots, fruits collected from the forest. And someone made bada and badi, it seems, by mashing dal, some kind of food stuff. And this way, brahmanas prepared all kinds of food. And 5 to 7 men prepared a huge quantity of chapatis, it seems. They were completely covered with ghee. Even vegetables and rice all also were covered with ghee. And all cooked rice was stacked on palasa leaves, it seems, which were kept on a new cloth spread on the ground. And around the stack of cooked rice was a stack of chapatis, it seems. And all the vegetables and liquid vegetable preparations were kept in different pots around them, it seems, around the main food, which is rice and chapatis. And then parts of yogurt, milk, buttermilk, and sikrani. Sikrani means, is described in the word for word meaning. A sweet preparation made with yogurt, it seems. Sweet rice, cream, and solid cream. placed alongside the vegetables. Alongside vegetables, they kept milk products and sweets also basically. So Annakuta, that's how they offered whole Annakuta. Annakuta generally word means is described in the purport that cooked rice is stacked like in a hill form, it seems, like we do Govardhan Giri Puja. That's what is called Annakuta, it seems. And Madhya personally offered everything to Gopal. See, pure devotees offering to Krishna, everything. That's the point here. Because that will become important in next couple of verses. And then many water pots were filled with scented water for drinking. Again, see, scented water for drinking. And Lord Sri Gopala, who had been hungry for many days, ate everything offered to him. Why he was hungry for many days? Because he was hidden, right? Hidden in the near the Govardhan Giri. So in the bushes we heard. That's why he ate everything offered to him. So how did we know that he ate everything? That's described in next set of verses. So in verse is saying, although Sri Gopala ate everything offered, by the touch of his transcendental hand, by Gopal's transcendental hand, Gopal Didi, everything remained as before. That means whatever he ate, but still it's remaining everything. Like we have our common experience also, right? And this was perceived by, in the next verse, I'll describe next verse and we'll go back to purport of 77. So how Gopal ate everything while the food remained same was transcendently perceived by Madhavendra Pri Goswami. Nothing remains a secret to the devotees of the Lord. So basically 77 purport now will go back. Essentially Prabhupada is describing a few things. One is that atheists can just understand and believe when we say that Krishna still ate the food, even though it's remaining everything. But as our senses become purified, we can perceive it personally. Prabhupada is describing the purport, especially like devotees, like here in this case, transcendentally perceived, right? That our senses become transcendental, spiritualized. Then we can perceive it like that. We can understand, we can accept, appreciate with faith, like that Prabhupada is describing the purport. Then other point is describing is, we know from Ishopanishad verse, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate, Om Purnamada Purnamida, like that was right. So that Prabhupada is quoting that basically even the food that is offered to Krishna also becomes Krishnaized. It's also Krishna like that. Like that is describing. It becomes identical with Krishna. And Krishna can eat with any senses. Angani yasya sakala indriya vittimanti. Like that we hear the verse, right? So he can eat by seeing also, he can see by eat by touching also, like that is being described. So the main point here is that by purifying our senses, then we can perceive Krishna, we can understand Krishna's pastimes, activities like that properly, like that is being described here. Why? Because of the devotion, Krishna will give mercy. That's how we can understand it. Now 78th verse, how, yeah, this we discussed, right? Yeah, Madhavendra Pri. Then 79th, yeah, this is purport for this verse. Okay, the wonderful festival and installation was arranged in one day, it seems. Certainly, all this was accomplished by the potency of Gopala. This is important point. Only by deity mercy, we can do anything. Even if you are able to do elaborate offering of food or anything, flowers or any offerings you can make, celebration. It's only by the mercy of the deity that can happen. So that no one but a devotee can understand this. That's the point being highlighted again. So Prabhupada writes something interesting in the purport. Two main themes. One is says Krishna consciousness movement has spread all over the world within just a short time frame of 5 years. And people are astonished how this happens. Prabhupada is saying this is only possible by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, grace of Lord Krishna, like that. That's one thing. That means if you have faith in Krishna and devotion for Krishna, Krishna can make anything happen. Wonderful, wonderful things can happen in his service like that. That is one point we're making. Now, after understanding this, Prabhupada is saying that if the preachers in our Krishna conscious movement are sincere devotees of Krishna, Krishna will always be with them because he's very kind and favorable to all his devotees like that. Then Krishna conscious movement become victorious. If you but remain sincere devotees of the Lord and serve the Lord according to the instructions from predecessor acharyas. And then Prabhupada also instructing that we should always remain in the society, not try to go somewhere else like that. So by the grace of Krishna, everything is possible. Even the great expansion of Krishna conscious movement is possible. Prabhupada is assuring us like that. So 80th verse. So Madhavendra Puri offered water to Gopala for washing his mouth, it seems at the end. And he gave him betel nuts to chew after that. And then he performed another arti again. And then all people chanted Jai Jai like that. And after he put the deities to rest, then Madhavendra Puri, basically he put the deities to rest on a new cot, it seems, and a new bedspread also. And then a temporary temple was constructed since by covering the bed all around with a straw mattress. That there is a bed and a straw mattress to cover it, it seems. So basically a temporary temple was constructed. There are no purports in this section. Next, after he put the deities to rest, then whoever brahmanas who came and cooked the prasadam, he asked them, now feed everyone sumptuously from the children on up to the age, like that he told Madhavendra Puri. Then all the people gathered and started honoring the prasadam. And all the interestingly, this is the point Prabhupada highlights in the purport 84. Basically, brahmanas are supposed to be given food first, it seems. So brahmanas and their wives also, they were fed first. That is a Vedic culture. Prabhupada is writing the purport. So now 85th verse. So those who took prasadam were not just people from the same village, Godhan village, but people from other villages also came, and they also got the opportunity to take darshan of Gopal deity, and they also ate prasadam, it seems. 86, and then seeing the influence of Madhavendra Puri, all the people gathered there were struck with wonder, it seems. So basically, they saw that Annakuda ceremony was performed during the time of Krishna. Remember Govardhan pastime we hear about Annakuda ceremony? So that now again, Madhavendra Puri's mercy, we are able to celebrate like that. They are happy and astonished, it seems. So let me see if there's any purport here. Yeah, there is a purport here. Prabhupada is describing the Govardhan pastime in the purport, basically. That Krishna personally encouraged all the inhabitants of Vrindavana to offer Bhoga, Annakud ceremony to Govardhan deity, like that is describing. So, yeah, I think we'll pause there. 87, 86, right? 86 will pause there. Yeah, we'll continue again next session. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasindubhya vacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.